What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Lyman Football. And today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys 10 different ways that you can make any helmet more comfortable. So as you guys know, I was coaching on a new team this year and a ton of the kids had never played football before. Now a lot of them were complaining about their helmet not fitting right, just being uncomfortable, and them thinking they honestly maybe had like a concussion because their just helmet wasn't comfy and they were getting a headache from it. So there's a lot of things we had to do to try and make these kids' helmets more comfortable for them. And I'm going to be going over what we did for those today and also a couple other just simple tips that you guys can do. Okay, so the first and simplest one that you can do when you're putting on a helmet for the first time is adjusting the air inside the helmet. Okay, now what you want to do is there's air points on a helmet. You can see they're located by these little things in the back, and there's one underneath my Canadian flag here. You also have holes on the side here where there would normally be cheek pads. Now when you first put on a helmet and say you guess you're a size large, say in my case, take all the air out of the helmet that was previously in it. So you have a pump, you release the air pressure and take all the air out. Okay, now once you've taken all the air out, now pump it back in to get it custom for you. Putting on a helmet that was worn by someone else and then just assuming that it is, right the way it is not how it should be. You should adjust the air from its 0 point every single time that you try a new helmet on. Now, number 2 is also going to deal with helmet sizing. So if you have to take all the air out of a helmet to put it on, that means it's too small of a size. What I would recommend doing is going a size up in helmet, say from a medium to a large, and then pumping it full of more air. The helmet for protecting you does no good if the bladders are completely empty just so you can get it on your head. So what you want to do is you want to size up your helmet, then pump it full of air until you get it to a good fit. Now, number 3 is definitely a little tricky. Depending if you're at school or whatever, but it's try multiple brands of helmet. And the reality is a lot of helmets fit completely differently. For example, I found in my personal experience that a Riddell Speed fits for a lot larger melon style head rather than something like this shut here fits better for heads that are more of an elongated pencil type shape. So different helmet brands fit differently. And that's why you see not every player in the NFL wears a Shut or a Riddell Speedflex. It's not because, they don't think it looks as good. But the reality could be as simple as it just doesn't fit their style of head and it's not as comfortable for them. Alright, so the next one is going to be about the cheek pads. Now, first off, you can adjust the air in the cheek pads. That's a very common area of discomfort for people. But also, your school might have multiple sizes of cheek pads. So there are actually different cheek pads that can go in a helmet that have thicker and thinner padding. That allows you to wear a helmet that fits well around the rest of your head and then change those cheek pads without having to fill it with too much or too little air to help fit it. Alright, the next one is going to be about your face mask. So there's 2 things that go on with a face mask. Number 1, if you're wearing a face mask that is not made for your size helmet, so if you do not have an adult face mask on an adult helmet, it can be bad, or say an adult face mask on a youth helmet. Okay, now the reason being is, say if you have a smaller face mask than is made for this helmet, to fit it on here, what that's going to do, it's going to compress the cheeks in like this so you can fit it on the helmet, and that's not good because it's squeezing your head too much. Same way if you have an adult face mask on a youth helmet, to fit it on, it's going to flex it out like this so it fits on it, and then again that helmet is not going to fit right. So you want to make sure you have the right size face mask for your helmet. Also make sure that your face mask is not bent in any way. So if you get a face mask and say you can see it is clearly bent, it's pushing up along this side here and it's not pushing up here, when you attach that face mask, this helmet is made to flex to fit around that mask. So if it is bent, it might have this one normal and then this one pushed all the way out, and the helmet's going to be very uncomfortable. So you want to make sure when you get a face mask for the first time, inspect it for yourself, make sure it is not bent and symmetrical and is not flexing out the helmet. You'll be able to visually see that when you're trying to fit a face mask on, if it's pulling it, there's something wrong with it and you need a different face mask. Okay, the next ones are going to be about chin strap. So the next one I want to talk about is attaching your chin strap properly to a helmet. So people don't always think about when you're wearing a chin strap, the mechanical parts that go in behind it. So with a chin strap, it has 2 attachment points on your helmet. It has one up top and one down below on every helmet almost, unless you have a super old school helmet. Now what a lot of kids do is they think if the chin strap is too loose, the accessible ones to change are the buckles on the bottom. Okay, now what that does is it pulls it underneath your chin more and back and around your head. So it's gonna take your helmet normally like this, and it might adjust it up like this bit because it's tucking your chin in and it's pulling your chin back and it's rotating that helmet a little bit. So you need to make sure you're adjusting the right points on a chin strap. You should be able to feel that when you have your chin strap on, if you feel it is tighter here than up here, then you need to pull these ones up to sit it back so it's completely against your chin. Again, that's how you do it. If you pull it too much on the bottom here and it's loose, it's gonna tuck it back, roll your neck, and it's not gonna be as comfortable to wear. So again, make sure when you have a chin strap for the first time, you adjust it completely, all 4 buckles, to make sure it is made to fit exactly your chin in your helmet. Now the next one is also going to be just get your own chin strap. That's one of the simplest solutions. Is you can buy a lot of high quality chin straps for relatively low prices these days. Sportstar makes a fantastic line of different chin straps. They have chin straps that have padding, that have fabric sleeves. They have chin straps specifically for people with beards that have more grip in them so it doesn't slip off. There's a lot of really good options out there that you can get for really cheap. Now the upsides are, there's no bacteria that is in it from someone else wearing it. It is not going to be degraded, or it's not going to be broken down in any way that makes it unsafe. You can pick your own custom colors to make sure they go with your school, not just, for example, basic white. And you can make sure that whenever you have that chin strap on, you know exactly it is going to fit properly. Now the next one is going to be about dealing with it before the season starts. So if you get a new helmet and you just put it on and you wear it right to practice, it's not going to be super comfortable. It's going to feel very foreign to you, and it's really not going to feel nice. What you need to do is, if you have the opportunity, take that helmet home with you and wear it around the house for a couple days. So when I got my Big Grill, when they first came out like 6 years ago, I was in grade 11, something like that. It was a lot heavier face mask than I was used to wearing. Also, I was wearing a visor for the first time and I'd never worn one. So it's 2 things that were very foreign to me and I had to get used to before practice actually started. So what I did is I wore my helmet while playing video games, and that way I would get used to looking at things moving through a visor, and I would get used to just the weight of having that face mask on my head. So those are things you can do. Same thing with a new helmet. You can wear it around the house and make sure it is comfortable for you throughout the day as you're moving, turning your neck, doing all these different things. All right, so the next one is going to be about dealing with helmets in the cold. Now, a lot of kids think that they have a concussion or they have headaches and stuff when they're wearing a helmet for the first time in the cold. And the reality is the helmets are made of plastic. When they get cold, they get very hard and not brittle, but they're harder to wear and they're not as comfy on your head because they don't flex as much to your head as they do when it's very hot outside. So you need to make sure that first off, you're just ready for that. And the best thing you can do is wear that helmet inside before practice starts. Get the helmet warm on your head, then go keep it on outside. If you have it off outside and it's cold and you put it on, it is a very painful feeling. Likewise, if you get it comfy and it's feeling good and then you take it off for water and stuff, it's gonna get cold again. Make sure when it is cold, you keep your helmet on at all times. And the final one is going to be haircut style. Now you want to make sure with a helmet, for optimum comfort, you have less hair than more. The reason is if you have a ton of hair on your head, when it squishes down into your head, it's going to give you more headaches fast. It's also going to get caught inside the padding of the helmet. So if it gets caught, in here, in these areas, and stuck in there, when you move, it's gonna be very uncomfortable and there's gonna be pulling on your hair. So the shorter your hairstyle, the less hair to get compacted down inside your helmet and be less comfortable, and also the less hair that's gonna get trapped inside the padding and get pulled on. So there you guys go. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Again, if you did like it, don't forget to hit that like button. If you have any more questions or comments, you can leave those down below, as well as tips about how to keep your helmets more comfortable. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks.